Hey friends, it's Laura with Laura's Handmade Haven. Welcome or welcome back. I'm so glad you joined me today. This is one of our videos in our Christmas in July series, and I'm going to show you how to make 20 cards from 3 sheets of paper in under an hour. All you got to do is gather some cardstock, some pattern paper, and my template that you can download in the description box down below. So let's go on over to the craft table and get cutting. Before anyone gets confused, I want to explain this template because if you don't read it, then you're probably going to think that it's something that it isn't. So download this sheet out of the description box. I have it on my Google Drive. It's shared. All you got to do is download it. And then read it because this is a cutting guide to tell you how to cut your 3 pieces of pattern paper to get 20 cards in under an hour. So when you look at this, you're going to see that you're going to cut 5.5 inches off one side and 2.5 off the other, and that leaves you a 4-inch strip in the middle, and that's on 12 by 12 pattern paper or 12 by 12 cardstock if you'd rather to do that instead. And then you have some subcuts going up those columns. So let's cut this together and then you'll see exactly what I mean. Okay, so I have 3 sheets of pattern paper here and they are coordinating. That's important. Make sure they're coordinating pattern papers. And I'm just going to make my first cut at 5.5 inches. And I'm going to leave those stacked together but put them to the side. And the next one I'm going to cut at 4. Now you could turn it around and cut it 2.5, but basically you just want to end up with 3 columns. One's going to be 5.5 inches wide, one's going to be 4 inches wide, and one that's going to be 2.5 inches wide. Now on our sheet it tells us on the 5.5 inch, we're going to cut one of them at 1 inch, 2 at 2.5, and 3 at 2. So I know this is 12-inch paper. I'm just going to start with my 2-inch cuts. I'm going to move this over because I'm just going to let my pieces of paper fall onto the table here. So we have 1, move it down to the 8, which would be another 2 inches, 2, and 3. These are all our 5.5 by 2-inch pieces. Put those in one pile. Now we're going to move down to the 5-inch mark. That's going to get our 1-inch segment. And then we're going to move down to 2.5. And that's our last 2 cuts for this column. Now you may notice that I am stacking these over onto the side just because that's going to help me out in a little while when I start assembling my cards. Now we're going to take the 4-inch section, and those are 4 at 2 and 4 at 1. So we're going to start with the 2-inch cuts and be at 10. Now these do not have to be exact. These are not like quilting pieces where if you're a little bit off, everything's going to be horrible. It's not like that at all. So if you are an 1/8 of an inch bigger or smaller, it's fine. The other ones are going to adjust for you, and it truly is perfectly okay. The only thing you really do want to try to do is make sure you have the correct number of cuts per column, because if you take all of these columns and you add up the pieces, you will notice that we get 20 pieces from each piece of pattern paper, which means we have 60 total, which means we'll be able to get 3 pieces of pattern paper on each of our cardstock bases. And following the cutting guide and just going down the list. We had one at 1, one at 1.5. We'll have another one at 2, and then the rest of them are at 2.5. Now, as soon as I get this last cut done, this is all of the cutting I have to do. So all of the pieces of paper that are going onto these cards is... Alright, so I did get a little fancy with my cards this time, and I have this Cricut Design Space file that I will share with you. The link will be in the description box down below. I basically just put together some sentiments and some backgrounds for those, and you can print them out or cut them out with Design Space, and then you'll have 20 sentiments to go on your 20 cards. Now these are going to be like all occasion cards that I'm making today, but you can use this for Christmas in July because you could definitely just use 3 Christmas pattern papers and put these cards together quick and easy for your Christmas cards this year. Do you guys send Christmas cards out? I try to. Some years I do, some years I don't. People just never know. It's a surprise every year whether or not they'll get a card from me. Okay, so a few supplies that you're going to want to gather before you go to work here. I'm upping my cards a little bit with just some buttons and the glue dots for those. I also have my 20 card bases. Now, I cut these out of cardstock. If you take 8.5 by 11 cardstock and you cut it in half, either direction, you're gonna get a perfect A2 card every single time. And that's what these pattern paper cuts are made to use with, is an A2 card base. So basically you have a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch card. It's gonna fold from the top or the side, and it's gonna be, you know, the folds are gonna be on a long edge or a short edge depending on how you cut your 8.5 by 11 paper, and either way is fine. It's not gonna mess anything up. So here's the deal. I'm gonna talk you through the first couple of cards, and then I'm gonna make the rest of my cards and let the camera run without talking, because let's get serious here. I can work a lot faster when I'm not talking. And that way we can see if I can actually accomplish getting 20 cards in 1 hour. This is our template. Download that in the description box down below. But remember, it's not like a true template. It's really just a cutting guide. In addition to that, I have 20 card bases cut and folded and ready to go. I have my Scotch ATG gun, and this, I love this gun. It's like the best. If you do a lot of scrapbooking or card making or paper crafting, this is the tool you need. As I mentioned before, I have some buttons, glue dots. I have all my paper cuts right here in front of me. You can't see them, but I promise you they're there. And then I also have all of my sentiments ovals out there. But what I'm gonna do first is just go through and get all of my paper onto cardstock. So what I like to do, and I know I said I was gonna do 2, but I'm actually gonna do 4. What I like to do is work in groups of 4, and I just lay them out on my cutting mat. And I'm gonna grab a stack of paper, and starting with the biggest one, you're just going to line them up wherever you want on your card. There is no wrong or right way to build these, okay? Do not think that there is a wrong or right way to put your cards together, because you're gonna see when we get done, you're gonna have 20 cards that are all adorably cute, and everyone's going to love them, and they're gonna know that you thought of them, and that's what's really important. Okay, so I used one of the 5.5s, so now I'm gonna use one of the 4.5s, and I'm gonna go with these. Since I used a great big one here, I'm gonna use a skinnier one. And I'm just gonna make sure that I don't use the same paper on the card that I did with the little one. And there really is not that much thinking to this, okay? If you start thinking about this, you are going to get yourself in trouble. If you try to like really match things up and think how everything's going to lay out, you are not, it's not good. Don't do it. All right, so I have 3 papers. I have 3 pieces of paper on each card. So obviously I'm gonna have 1 of each paper on each card. And just because I can, I'm gonna grab a different size for this one, just to make sure that it's different. Now, for the sentiments, I could go ahead and do all of these, and I might just do that, honestly. But all I gotta do, I used my Cricut Maker 3, and I'm using the Smart Materials paper sticker cardstock. And then you're just gonna peel these off, put these on. And again, the less you think about this, the better it's gonna turn out. All right, so there's 4 cards. And that was about 3 minutes, I think. We'll time it later. Okay, there's 4 cards. I have 16 more to go. I'm gonna get busy and you're gonna watch. The one thing I didn't mention that I just did on this card, you can also rip them off and totally change the look of your cards. And that's perfectly fine. Let me tilt you down to the table so you can see me work a little easier. That's 20 cards, and that's where this ends. I have 20 cards made in less than 20 minutes. But I'm even going to take it one more step, and I'm going to open up this little bag of buttons. Now, if you're mailing cards, you want to try, at least I do, I try to keep them pretty flat because otherwise you end up paying a lot in postage, and I don't really like paying a lot in postage because I'd rather spend it on, I don't know, other things. But these buttons are pretty flat, and so I'm just going to use my glue dots and add them wherever I see fit. Again, trying to not overthink this too much because that's what slows you down. If you need a gift for teachers or for pastors or for business associates and you want a really quick little thing to do, a little pack of just all occasion cards is a great way to do that. For years, I was making note cards for one of my aunt's business associates. They absolutely loved them. Basically, it was such a simple card, and I just printed out their name and or their monogram maybe. It could have just been their monogram. Printed out their monogram and added it to the card, and they were so happy with them. And it was so quick and easy, and it was a great little gift. They looked forward to them each year. She looked forward to asking me to make them. But this would be a great little project for those too. Or if you have a Girl Scout troop that wants to send cards to a nursing home, I definitely used this for that before as well. All right, so I'm just going to tell you, rather than open another bag of buttons, I'm just going to have one card that doesn't have a button on it. It's not that big of a deal. It is not the end of the world, and I may find an embellishment before I give it out to anyone. So let me get these all set up, and then you can see what we have, and you'll be so amazed. All right, so there you have it. 20 cards in less than an hour, ready to send out to your loved ones, your friends, your colleagues. And this would make a great gift idea, you guys. If you put together a pack of 20 cards, bundle them up with a cute little ribbon, stick them in a box or just stick them in a bag, give them to one of your besties, they are going to love it. And then throughout the year, they have a card when they need it. So you can do any type of sentiment on here you want, or you could leave it blank for that matter. You could just put like a little flower or something out on the front of the card instead of that sentiment, or just leave it plain and they can customize it themselves, right? So, but yeah, 20 cards, less than 1 hour, great gift idea. Use some Christmas papers and you got your Christmas cards done too. Great idea for Christmas in July. I hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to download your template from the description box down below. And until next time, find joy in all you do. Carve out some time for crafting and creating. And remember, it's always better when you make stuff up.